Hey there, it's Sarah from the No More Wasted Days podcast. And today I'm going to be talking to you all about the boredom you might be feeling if you're brand new to your alcohol free journey. Yep, and that's right. A lot of people will tell me I'm so bored in the beginning. Now, there's a lot of different theories to this. Maybe it's actually that you're feeling peace for the first time amidst a world where you used to always feel chaos. And now you're finally feeling this peacefulness in your life and your body's just telling you that it's boredom because there's not a lot happening. But also, there is this time that you have to fill all of a sudden when you quit drinking. Probably from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., I would be drinking as a drinker. So when I first quit, I had to stop and go, whoa, what do I do with all of this time? And there were parts of me that were really thankful for the new time. But on a lot of days, it was a struggle. So, today I'm going to share with you 3 strategies that will help you get past this boredom. And I have been using these strategies now for over 5 years on my alcohol free journey. And I will tell you, rarely do I feel bored now. I do think some of that is because I've settled into my alcohol free life now and my schedule has become more routine. The thoughts of wanting to drink just really aren't there anymore. But in the beginning, this was not all easy for me, and I did really have to think about these strategies. And I want you to do the same. Write these strategies down, take notes, and be ready to implement these because they are going to help you the next time you're thinking to yourself, yeah, being alcohol free is really nice. I really enjoy the whole not having a hangover thing. That's great. But sometimes I feel kind of bored. So let's talk about this today. All right. Strategy number 1, make a list. I use this tip every single weekend, still on my alcohol free journey. I make a list. There's a few reasons for this. Number 1, when you make a list and you're actually crossing things off of that list, it gives you a little hit of dopamine. And dopamine is what you get when you drink. So why not get it in a healthy way by crossing off items off of a to do list? I also did this very early on in my journey because I didn't quite know what to do with all of that new time, especially on the weekends. The weekends felt like they were going to last for a million years. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But what I do know is I can fill that time with a lot of things. Now, I would put in that list fun things and things to do that need to get done around the house. So when I quit drinking, I quickly found out that I had put off a lot of projects around the house and I had a lot of piles of stuff everywhere that I needed to go through, or piles that had gotten shoved deep, deep, deep into closets. And it was time to start managing some of that. I was like, okay, I have this new time. I'm going to do this. Now, I will tell you, I didn't take on like gutting out the closets right away because that to me is not a fun chore. That's a really overwhelming chore. But I did take on some fun household chores that made me feel productive, made me feel like I was really using my alcohol free time to my advantage, and just filled me with a sense of purpose. One of those things for me when I was brand new to my alcohol free journey was yard work. I always have enjoyed yard work because I like to be outside, but I really put it off as a drinker mainly because my husband and I would go outside and say, hey, let's do some yard work. And we would do a little bit. And then we'd say, hey, let's take a beer break. And once the beer break happened, I was done. I was never a person that once I was drinking, I could get more done. That was not me. So I just didn't actually get a lot done. I thought I was doing stuff as a drinker, but I just wasn't. So it was really fun to actually get out into our backyard and give it life again. Make it this beautiful place that it had once been, and make it a place where we felt so much joy hanging out back there. No longer was it the place where we hung out and just got drunk around the fire pit. Instead, it started to be this place where we could really live this calm and peaceful alcohol free life. And we could look around and say, wow, look at all the work we've put into this yard. Now, I still love doing yard work. I will probably always let that one be the winner when I look at a to-do list and I'm just not feeling super motivated. So find things like that in the beginning. What's the chore that you just don't mind doing? Now, as you get farther and farther on your alcohol-free journey, you're going to start seeing like, oh my gosh, I'm loving the motivation that I'm having and I'm loving seeing these projects get done. And then you'll want to start adding things to those lists like clean out your closet or clean out your kid's closet, which is, whoa, that one was probably happened way far into my alcohol-free journey. But you get the drift. Really pick those activities that are going to bring you a sense of purpose. They're going to bring you some joy, and they're not going to feel like an overwhelming task, and they're not going to let you get down on yourself, because that's something I do when I do housework. I tend to get down on myself and think, how did I let this get so bad? I don't want those activities happening in the beginning. So make that big list and maybe put those activities on there, but then look and say, okay, not that one, but I'm going to do this one. And that's why I also say, put on your list some things that are fun. It could even say, make yummy coffee in the morning, like the extra fancy stuff that you reserve for special occasions. Put that on your list that you're going to have it over the weekend, and drink it while I'm watching Netflix. That can be a to-do list item for the weekend. Maybe it's taking your kids out on an adventure. Maybe it is tackling something in your house that you've put off for a long time. Maybe it's a project to get you ahead for the next week. Those things can make you really, really happy and say, oh my gosh, now that I've quit drinking, I'm so much more ready for the work week. So maybe it's things like meal planning and meal prepping. That's something I do every single week still. I write down all the dinners we're going to have throughout the week, and then I make my grocery list, and I just feel organized. It's nice to know that all the ingredients are actually in the house for the meals that I have on my list. It's just like, that's a great feeling. And when I did work a 9 to 5 job, when I first quit drinking, I would meal prep on the weekend, and it just felt awesome to be like, oh my God, my salads are made for lunch. I don't have to run around like a crazy person in the morning because I'm trying to throw my lunch together. So think about all those different activities, make those lists, and get to work. You shouldn't even feel bored now that you have that tip, right? Because you can use that on the weekdays. You can use that on the weekends. Oh, one other thing that I do want to add about making that list is make it realistic. When you start looking at the list and you go, whoa, I maybe added too much to this list, then take a few items and either put a little note by them that they're maybe not as important as the other ones, or just cross some of those items off. Because one thing that can get some people down is when they don't complete a whole list. So if you know you're one of those people, then make the list a little smaller than you think you should. Okay, strategy number 2. I want you to get focused on a new hobby. So when I first quit drinking, I got really into a workout program. I started this, it was called Morning Meltdown 100. I'm sure some of you have heard about that. But I was like, I'm going to go all in on this workout program. I'm going to do this. And I did. And it gave me something to focus on. It gave me something that I enjoyed doing, because I enjoy working out. If you don't enjoy working out and you hear that and you're like, ugh, I don't want to do that, then don't make that one. But that was a hobby for me that I had in my drinking life, but I wanted to improve upon in my non-drinking life. So that can be an idea for you as far as hobbies. What's something you did as a drinker, but you want to be a little bit better at as a non-drinker? That could be a hobby for you. Or go back to what you really liked to do as a kid. What were some things you enjoyed doing as a kid, and try them out again? There were a few for me that I did in this area. One was I started crocheting again. This one has come and gone with me throughout my alcohol-free journey. Right now, I'm really into crocheting again, and I love that it gives me something to do with my hands, and I love seeing a project come together. It's just really fulfilling for me. I have always loved crafting, but especially crocheting. It's easy. It doesn't take a lot of material. It doesn't cost a lot, and it gives you something to do with your hands as you watch a show. So for me, it actually helps me sit down and relax and focus on a show instead of doing the scrolling on my phone thing while I'm watching a show, which is not good for my brain. Another thing that I went back to that I loved as a kid was reading fiction books. As a kid, I always read before I went to bed. It was just a habit that I had, and it was what made me fall asleep each night, really. And I brought that back. That is something I still do today, and I enjoy it so much. Those books, I normally make fiction books because I enjoy reading them more. And if I think to myself in the evening, like, oh, you could read this self-help book, that might feel like a chore. And I'll be like, oh, I don't really want to do that. But if it's a fiction book and I'm really into it, I actually am like, I'm so excited to go to bed. Now, that one kind of helps in 2 areas, that hobby, because it helps me get better sleep at night. I'm not looking at my screen before I go to bed, and it just gives me something that I really enjoy. I also try to bring my book with me when I know I'm going to be going places where I might have some alone time. I've always got my Kindle with me just in case I can get some extra reading in. That hobby was so cool to take back on, and one thing that was really cool with that is I'm a Kindle reader. I had books on my Kindle that I had started as a drinker and I hadn't finished, and I kind of went on this quest, and I was like, "I'm gonna finish all these," and I did, and it felt so good. I think I finished the last one just last year, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I did it." All the books are read, and it was a cool thing to do. And another thing that I did was I started bringing music back into my life again. I love music. I was a music teacher for 18 years, and I love singing. I love playing guitar and piano. And when I first quit drinking, my husband and I actually started playing ukulele together. A ukulele is a very affordable instrument. And on YouTube, there are a lot of tutorials that will help you learn how to play this instrument. So use all these things to your advantage. If you are a person that really likes music, this can be an area for you. Now I've taken it to new levels, joined my community choir that I love so much, and it has just brought me back to who I am. And I'm not bored because I'm doing these things that I love. And I will say, when I have the rare moment that all of my family is gone and I think, what can I do? They're all gone. The first thing that pops into my head always is, you could play the guitar or you could play the piano. And I get so excited. I'm so thankful that music came back into my life because even though I was a music teacher as a drinker, I didn't do it as a hobby anymore because my hobby was drinking and I just didn't have the capacity for other stuff. And now I do, and it's so cool. And even listening to music has come back into my life. It's just all around a great thing. So go back and think about those hobbies you had when you weren't a drinker, before you were a drinker. Maybe that's when you were a kid. And think, what were the things that really helped me feel free, that brought me so much joy? And try them out again and see if they fit into your life now. And I am sure that one of those is going to click and become your new hobby and help you ditch the boredom in your life. All right, strategy number 3 may sound a little weird at first, but you got to trust me on this, okay? I want you to embrace the boredom. So what does that even mean? Like this is a podcast helping you to get through the boredom, manage the boredom, and now I'm telling you to embrace the boredom. But I want you to think about this. We're all rushing around all the time saying, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Sorry, I can't do that because I just don't have time. That's me. I'm thinking that all the time in my life. And as a drinker, even more because I was trying to find time to drink. So I couldn't go do a lot of things because I didn't have time because that would go get into my drinking time. So now when I do think, I'm a little bit bored right now, I'm like, whoa, embrace this gift. It means that your life has slowed down enough for you to be able to actually feel bored. And what a gift is that? It's just an amazing thing for us. And when we actually look at it that way, it's not a punishment. It's actually something that's like, oh, this is cool. I get to feel bored. And then when that boredom happens, think, cool, I'm going to take this time and scroll TikTok for a second, or I'm going to go watch a show on Netflix. And I'm just going to really lean into the fact that I get to relax. And it's not because I'm hungover. It's not because I'm so sick from a day of drinking the day before that I can't even function today. Nope, I just really get to relax and let my body reset. So embrace that boredom. So those are my 3 strategies for you. I want you to remember, make that list. On the weekends especially, make a to-do list and get busy crossing those items off. And remember, don't put things on the list that make you feel bad about yourself, make you feel overwhelmed. Put the things on there that bring you some joy, fill you with a sense of purpose, and put some things in there that are just for fun. Okay? Really do that. Then strategy number 2, get focused on a new hobby. Now, remember, it doesn't have to be something brand new to you. You may dip back into your life before you were a drinker and say, what did I like to do? And bring those things in. And strategy number 3, embrace the boredom. Thank the world for gifting you this extra time. We are all trying to hack finding more time in our schedule. And when you quit drinking, you have more time, and it is a huge gift. The boredom is not a punishment. It's something to go, this is awesome. I love this. All right. I really hope these strategies help you along in your alcohol-free journey. And I just want to leave you with one more thought. Remember, drinking never cured your boredom. It just slowed down your brain's reaction to the world, and it made you think that the mundane was exciting. But in actuality, you were just drunk and bored. Now you get out there and embrace those hangover free days and really do some fun and maybe even productive things. Thank you so much for joining me for this shorty episode. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and give us a rating. We are getting super close to those 100 ratings that I have for a goal on Apple Podcasts. So hit that star button and be sure to check out the links in the show notes. I always have the Daymakers linked there and one-on-one coaching with Heather. So be sure to give those a look and see if they're a good fit for you. All right, I'll be in your ear in the next episode.